Welcome to the Healthy Metal Hippie podcast, where art and wellness collide. Well, hi and welcome back to the Healthy Metal Hippie. Today we are talking about the workplace. Toxic workplaces, to be specific. I think if you have been in a working environment, for I don't want to say everybody has, but I think most people have experienced some sort of a toxic workplace, whether it's, top down where the management is a bit, or where it's just there's some cutthroat colleagues or things like that. It's kind of wild out there. Everybody kind of says, oh, it gets better after school. And I think overall it does, but oh man, there can be a lot of stuff that goes down in the workplace. We spend more of our life at work than we do at home with our friends and family and, doing our hobbies and things like that. We are at work most of the time. And we put up sometimes with a lot of stuff that you wouldn't put up with in your regular, normal day-to-day life, right? It can be, say, gossip. It could be verbal abuse. It could be sexual harassment. It could be no work-life balance. And there's so many things that it can be that makes it like a little bit toxic. Low-key or high-key, it's definitely a thing that people experience. I know I've had places where I was threatened if I left, not like physically, but just an overall threatening tone. I'll tell you, I'll tell you my good story. I think my first time that I ever felt what happened in the workplace was, I think I was about 15 or so, and I got a job at McDonald's. The classic first job. And sorry, it's funny when I think about it. And I look back with so much gratitude, and I'm so thankful that they did. But there was a regulation about piercings, right? And I had asked, they were like, everything has to be approved by a manager, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, cool, I will do that. And so I got approved to have my lip pierced. And I came into work, and they said to me, no, you're not allowed to have your lip pierced. And I was like, but like, I got it approved. And then they fired me. 2 weeks after being there, they fired me. And God, what a blessing. I ended up going to work in a bakery for a short period of time while I was in school. And yeah, actually, I really enjoyed working at that bakery. It was fun. And that's what I did through high school. And it was pretty decent though. I left there, right when I finished my diploma exams in high school, and I went straight into the insurance world. And, of course, probably know I've done other things on the side. Of course, I've had my own businesses throughout, doing all sorts of different things, as well as doing a piercing apprenticeship. But insurance has been mostly my primary career for, I guess it was about 17 years that I was doing it, which is pretty crazy in itself. It just seems like a whole lifetime. I've been talking to people about their workplace experiences, and people have some seriously unhinged stories to share about it. But I think the part that is the most shocking is how working in a shitty workplace can really impact us for the long term. It makes people afraid to leave a job. It makes people undervalue themselves. It makes people leave industries. It makes people, do all sorts of things. Worst case scenario, makes people take their lives. But like I say, we spend so much of our time at work. Of course, it's nice to have those ideas. You don't take your work home. You don't take your home life to work. But like the shit happens, though. I had a boss once that I'd asked for a raise, and he flat out said to me, "You are not worth it." And I was kind of shocked because I had numbers to back up why. I had industry standards. I had all sorts of things. And it took me back and made me go, yeah, okay, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm not worth it. And these things do impact us. It wasn't a situation of, you know what, I agree, but it's not in the budget right now, or, let's revisit this in like 6 months, or it wasn't anything like that. It was a flat out, you're not worth that. And it kind of crushed me. And, truth be told, I was planning to leave anyway. Ooh, that's the tea right there. If you know, you know. But it was devastating. And I think you take some like big knocks to your confidence sometimes in work, even if you're doing well. I also see a lot that companies will keep you in a position because you're really good at it. So-and-so's so good at this, can't have them move up. We couldn't afford to lose you from this position, even though you want this position, or maybe you want this position. It doesn't matter. It's unfortunate because I see that companies lose good people because they're not listening to the things that people want to advance to. So they'll leave and they'll go and advance on to do things that they are aspiring to. It's tough when, the only way to move up or to move to do what you want to do is by leaving. And I think it's really sad, especially when you've got big aspirations and big goals for yourself. The other thing that I have seen at times is where, there's unfortunately sexual harassment going on in the workplace, and people are afraid to report it because there's fear of losing your job. Unfortunately, it's same like in real world, outside of work world too, where people fear the repercussions of reporting somebody or talking about something, but it's something that we all have to do. And you shouldn't have to feel fearful if you are going to speak up about what's right and what's important, and not just for ethical reasons for yourself, but to protect safety of other people. I've seen with certain companies how it plays out if it's not dealt with, and nobody should have to experience that. I have a friend who's in the middle of moving companies right now, and it's been really sad to hear her talk about how she doesn't feel like she is really good enough or up to par for this new role that she'll be moving to. It serves as a good reminder is that people see you differently than you see yourself. It's shocking how different that it can be, our own perception of self and the perception that others have. And sometimes it's quite a nice feeling to know. But if you've been stuck in that situation where you're really good at your job, you can't move up, it really is kind of like squishing you down with the thumb. Of course, you're going to have a hard time believing that you can move on and that you can move up, or that you bring value to your workplace or the environment that you're joining. I think it's really important if you're moving to a new workplace or you're starting on a new career path or whatever it may be, that you understand that people do see how valuable you are, and people see what fabulous ideas and work that you bring to the table, and how you're going to be a positive impact and a positive force on the company that you're joining. It's very important that we don't let these experiences of workplaces past impact how you head into this new job, because we are our own worst critics. Hi, it's me. I'm definitely the problem. I feel exactly the same. And it's something that you have to actively work to get through and get over. Since I moved to the UK, I've had a few kind of rough job experiences, had some excellent bosses, but a few rough job experiences, like the guy that fired me after a week and then called me to rehire me because he made a mistake. Oops. Yeah, there's some interesting experiences, but I'm just going to do a shameless little plug here. So in addition to everything that I do, like this podcast and running the Heavy Metal Hippie Box and Heavy Metal Hippie Music, where I am working with a variety of bands and producing podcasts, doing some management and band booking and things like that. In addition to all of that, I've been working part-time at HMV on Oxford Street in London as part of the audio team, and I have to tell you, I have never felt so incredibly appreciated and supported in any workplace that I have ever been at before. It's been very, very helpful, because I think I lost a lot of confidence and lost a lot of just that overall believing in myself. And then I joined there, and I feel like actually I offer value, and I can express my ideas, even though some of them are wild. I can express them and be part of kind of the greater good. It feels like you're actually making an impact, and it's so lovely to feel supported by people. Like I took my son in on a bank holiday. I was off, so he went down. He wanted to go check out the store, and he said to me, "This is like a big family reunion where you don't know anybody, but everybody knows you and everybody loves you." And I thought it was really sweet, but it does feel like that. And it feels like I've grown another family. And like, how good is that? Yeah, you get your work besties, you get your family, and all sorts of really nice things. And it seems in some ways like I've gained a little family over here. I really love it. And I really love the team. And so if any of you guys are listening, oh, hi, I love you. And so, but I guess it's been eye-opening to what a difference a good work environment can be, where people like truly support each other and truly are working for the greater good. It feels really nice. I guess sometimes we need a big shake-up, whether it's moving jobs, moving industries, trying something new, or simply just standing up for yourself and things that you want and need. And it's really important that we're doing it. So have you been in a place before where you felt like you were in a bit of a toxic environment, that you were undervalued, underappreciated, and what did you do about it? Did you find something new? Did you stay there for too long? Did you move industries, or what happened? I'm just so curious to know what happened. It's liberating when you find a place that values you. I know some people have moved companies over the past couple of years that I am friends with, and they're just blown away how it's such a night and day difference of where they had been working before to where they are now. Like, feeling seen and feeling heard and appreciated and understood is like the basis of anything that's going to be good in the world. And especially, again, when you're spending so much of your time at work, it's so important. So I'm sending you lots of love. I'm hoping that you are in a great workplace right now. And I hope that you're just feeling happy and feeling good about your life and good about your work. And if you're not, I hope that you start reflecting and making ideas, making plans of what the next step might be, because you are pretty amazing. Okay, see you later. Have a great day. Bye. Thanks so much for joining us on the Healthy Mental Hippie podcast. For more ways to connect, go to www.healthymentalhippie.com.